Next step is I call 911 and I get SWAT here.
We are SWAT. We are SWAT, so...
Good.
Unfortunately, right now, you're tying up an emergency line for somebody that could be in cardiac arrest or having trouble breathing or having chest pain.
Well, they did try to say that I have to step out of the vehicle and they're trying to demand things out of me. They're acting like they have the authority.
Shut the car up. Shut the car up. Let's go, ready? Shut the car up.
Welcome back to the Van Ballion channel, guys. Today we head to North Tonawanda, New York State for a traffic stop where a sovereign citizen turns a simple citation for blowing through a stop sign into a circus of epic proportions, where he cites the 10th Amendment of all things, calls 911 on the police, threatens to arrest the president, but ultimately gets arrested by the supervisor he demanded and loses the Hertz hire car he's driving to deliver food in to the impound lot. Right, let's get into the video.
It's going to be an older black male with a gray beard.
What's up?
Hey, David.
Hey.
Jacket on.
Tell you who he is yet? What's that? Tell you who he is yet?
It's not.
Alright, let's take him out and bring him back so we can identify him.
Yep. I was just trying to see if we had anything on there so I could at least come up and already have his information, but it's a rental car.
Yep.
And I got nothing else on it.
No idea who it is?
No, I've never even seen this guy before. Blew right through the stop sign, but he is not, he said he doesn't have to stick around. I was like, okay, well, I'm advising you legally you have to stay here.
Yeah, he's detained.
Yeah, probably not a good idea to use the words "I don't stick around" when you've been pulled over by the police. But then again, this is a soft sit we're talking about. Good ideas are not really their forte.
Alright. You got a rental car, brother. You got to have a contract for it, right? And a driver's license. I need to see that.
NT196-207, status check.
410-4.
Currently, I'm going to give you a little bit of insight. Right. My uncle was first sergeant military police.
Okay.
My cousin is a police officer in Genesee County.
Okay. Who is it in Genesee County?
That would be Morgan. Is the first name. So anyway, I also have had federal security clearance of high security public trust, right? So I'm all about Constitution.
Okay.
Here we go again. We've got another soft sit claiming to have special privileges because he had a relative in the military and now law enforcement, in the hope that it will get him out of a ticket. Spoiler alert, it won't. Also, because he brought up the Constitution, I would at this point tell him to go read the 10th Amendment, but I don't need to because he brings it up. Whether he understands it or not, though, is a different matter altogether.
So I need you as a public servant, because am I a public servant or are you the public servant?
So you're correct. I'm a public servant.
Good. You have an oath of office to that Constitution. Am I correct?
Yep.
What's the 10th Amendment?
So I'm not going to get into that.
So you don't, no, listen, 10th Amendment.
We're going to have you step out of the car.
You're not going to do anything.
Alright, come on, sir. Get out.
Yep.
Unlock
We're going to have you remove out of the car.
Wow, he literally turned into a 6-month-old baby there for a second. And that's not to throw shade on 6-month-old babies. They are definitely more intelligent, more coherent, and better behaved than this guy. I'm just saying it's funny watching a supposed grown man turn into a giant man baby.
So I'm going to record this again.
You're free to record. You can record whatever you like.
I'm going to roll up the window. Now you're going to recite the 10th Amendment.
I'm going to have 203 start this way as well. 196 to 203 if you can head to this location.
Next step is I call 911 and I get SWAT here.
We are SWAT.
We are SWAT, so...
Good. You're insurrectionists at this point in time, because if you're trying to demand anything out of me...
We need to identify you, sir.
I have no problem with giving you my license and what have you. What I'm doing is I'm ensuring you're abiding by your oath to the Constitution.
So we need to see your driver's license.
You don't need to see anything from me because you are a public servant. I have the right to travel under the 9th Amendment.
Okay, first of all, threatening to call 911 on a cop is hilarious, just on its own. But threatening to call 911 to demand SWAT officers when the SWAT officers are the ones doing the traffic stop is pure comedy gold. And secondly, no, the right to travel does not include the right to drive a motor vehicle on a public road without a licence, registration, insurance, etc. I shouldn't really have to keep repeating this, but here we are. And finally, yes, New York state law clearly states that he can ask you for identification for a traffic infraction precisely because he is acting within his capacity as a public servant. But you're going to find this out the hard way shortly.
I have right, First Amendment right, freedom of exercise of religion. Freedom of exercise
So what
of
does that have
religion.
to do with you
I'm
committing a
going to
vehicle and
clarify
traffic
for
law
you.
violation?
Stop interrupting me. You're the public servant. First Amendment, freedom of exercise of religion, right? Does it state that
So
clearly?
what I don't understand, sir, is what does it have to do
So
with you not stopping
That's
at a
what I'm
stop
getting
sign
to. Are you going to
and
answer
speeding?
my question?
No, I need to see your driver's license and
If you're
registration.
not going to answer my question, then we're not.
He's not there to pander to your delusional view of the Constitution. He's there to probably just give you a warning for running a stop sign, I would guess. But looks like you're determined to turn this into a circus with you as the clown.
You want to act like a public servant and answer my question, or do you want to act like you're the
So what
authority
you're
when
going to
you have
do
done?
is turn this from just a simple traffic stop.
So what I'm
Verify
doing is
that
I'm
you have a
asserting my rights as a U.S. citizen and validating that you're not abiding by your oath to the Constitution.
So my job here today
So
is to
your job
monitor
here
traffic
today
safety.
is to enforce the law. Is that correct?
Correct, which you violated.
No, because which is the supreme law of the land, Marbury versus Madison. If a law is created that violates a constitutional standard, it is automatically null and void.
And when, may I ask, were stop sign violations, the driver's licence and traffic laws in general deemed unconstitutional? Because you can't just wave a magic wand and declare it so. That's the job of the court. You know, the place where Marbury versus Madison, the case you rely so heavily on, was argued and ruled on.
So, sir,
Is that
how does that have
correct?
to
If
do
you
with
have
you
an oath
not
to the
coming to a complete
Constitution-
stop at a stop sign?
So that's what I'm getting to. What's the freedom
I don't
of
understand.
So if you don't understand,
roundabout
I'm
way to
free
get
to
to that.
educate you. Are you going to
Why are
listen?
you yelling at me?
Sir, Pennsylvania
Because
versus
you are not
Mims.
listening to
Sir,
me.
Pennsylvania versus Mims says that we have the right to ask you out of the car.
You don't have any rights to First Amendment, separation of church and state.
That's Supreme Court case law.
Supreme Court case, Marbury versus Madison. If a law is made that violates a constitutional standard, it's automatically null and void.
Sir, you can either give us your license or you have to step out of the vehicle.
It's your choice.
Right, so in this guy's world, you can cite Supreme Court cases you like and declare any you don't unconstitutional just like that. Then wind your window up like a big baby. What a snowflake.
There's all the doors are locked too.
Yep.
It's annoying, isn't it?
I'm here till 10.
I've already fought a course case in North Tonawanda. Just let you know. I had it thrown out. It was dismissed for the same principle I'm stating with you right now.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but having a case dismissed and then lying about the reasons is not the threat you think it is.
So do you think you have the authority?
You violated vehicle and traffic law.
Which law is that?
1172A.
State law?
New York State Vehicle and Traffic Law.
State Constitution refers to the U.S. Constitution as the supreme law of the land. Is that correct?
We're not doing this, sir.
If you're not doing it, then I'm not doing it.
Okay.
Right, so now soft-stick Karen follows through on his dumb threat to call 911 on the cops, unnecessarily tying up a dispatcher for about 5 minutes or so. But on the bright side, it does lead to the arrival of a no-nonsense supervisor and the arrest he deserves. But yeah, I think he should be arrested just for this alone.
This 203 responded.
203, did you say you're responding here?
Yep, I'm on my way there now.
10-4.
Calling 911.
I'm aware.
County, just so you're advised, this driver's calling 911.
Niagara County 911, where's your emergency?
Yeah, I don't know where it exactly is. What road am
We're
I
on
on?
Ruie
officers?
Road, sir.
Do we?
We're on Ruie Road.
Ruie? Okay, I'll let you, the officer, explain. Right now I have a couple police officers. I'm trying to assert my rights under the Constitution. First Amendment, separation of church of state, which states clearly in the First Amendment that the freedom of exercise of religion, that freedom of exercise, if Congress can't pass a law, then they can't violate, the Judicial Department can't enforce the law. That's supreme law of the land. I'm asserting that with these officers. They're pulling me over for a traffic violation, which is state law. And on the federal level, they refuse to abide by their oath of office to the Constitution. Now they're acting under the 10th Amendment, which states clearly to the state or the people. It's not exclusive to the state. So that said, they don't have any authority nor jurisdiction in this matter. Even if I did go through a stop sign, there's nobody that was hurt or injured, which doesn't make it a crime. And since I follow common law, which is 5 of the 10 commandments, no murder, no theft, no coveting, no bearing false witness, and no adultery, they are currently committing an insurrection. Well, I don't know if I did or not. That's what they're proclaiming, but state law doesn't supersede federal law. Federal law, First and 10th Amendment, as well as the 9th Amendment apply here, and they're violating the rules of the Constitution, which in turn would make them insurrectionists.
Wow, would you like some dressing with that unholy amount of word salad? That poor dispatcher, she's not there to listen to your pseudo-legal ramblings, she's there to respond to real emergencies. Why are these two officers letting this continue? I know they're trying to de-escalate the situation, but allowing him to abuse 911 is just ridiculous.
Now, I have police officers in my family and what have you. Sure, my name is Richard Ewert. Driver's license, Ewert, E-W-E-R-T. And just for fun, because I don't have any problem with giving them my license and what have you, I'm just kind of asserting my rights at the moment. My driver's license number, if you need one.
Okay.
So again, if you want to have the argument about it being commercial or what have you, because that's what driving is referencing, that's why you would need a license if you're working under commercial, which I technically am at the moment, but nevertheless the 9th Amendment still applies.
Oh right, so he's sticking with the soft-sit script even when to him it doesn't apply. Now that's some high-level mental gymnastics you have to perform to justify your position there, or he's just a liar. Anyway, now he tries to equate what he claims to be a violation of his constitutional rights to someone either having a cardiac arrest and or breathing problems. This is disgusting.
Do you have an emergency?
The emergency is these cops are violating my constitutional rights and they
their
refuse to leave.
lieutenant's on the way over to speak with you. You can speak with the lieutenant when he gets there. But unfortunately, right now, you're tying up an emergency line for somebody that could be in cardiac arrest or having trouble breathing or having chest pain.
Well, they did try to say that I have to step out of the vehicle and they're trying to demand things out of me. They're acting like they have the authority when they're public servants.
On the way there, you can speak with the lieutenant when he gets there, okay?
Alrighty. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
So in other words, get off the line, you selfish, narcissistic, entitled Karen, who has the nerve to call 911 an emergency line and equate a real-life emergency to a supposed constitutional violation. And yes, he posted this body cam to YouTube himself, so obviously he thinks this makes him look good. But like I said, yeah, he's a narcissistic Karen, so of course he did.
Where were you headed to when you were driving down there?
I'm delivering some food.
Where are you delivering?
Go ahead.
I don't know the exact address.
How long have you been doing DoorDash for?
I've been doing Uber and what have you.
10-4, we heard.
Like I said, I don't have any problems with you guys. I'm not a defund the police or anything like that. I'm fully on your side, but when it comes to constitutional rights, especially with the Democrats being the way they are, I'm making sure that I'm asserting my rights.
Do you have that rental agreement on you, sir?
No, it's actually at home.
Yeah, speaking of the rental agreement, I wonder if he knows that intentionally breaking the law in one of their vehicles is a violation of that agreement. Maybe you should have read it before using it to pull this right to travel BS. Also, why is it that the people who claim to not have problems with the police are always the first ones to give police the most hassle?
Okay.
I guess my thing is you either don't believe me that you ran directly through a stop sign, or you didn't stop at all. You went directly through a stop sign and are speeding.
Well, I wouldn't say I was speeding. I wouldn't know that. But again, the stop sign, to me, I didn't see the stop sign. So if I did, it's because I didn't see it.
That's fine. And we could have gone a whole different route over this. Other than
exactly, and I just wanted to ask you questions, and then you didn't refuse to answer.
Questions.
It is my job.
To you, I came up to you. All I said is I need to see your driver's license.
Again, you're the public servant, right?
Correct. But
so if I ask you a question, if you wanted to keep it cordial and everything, you would have answered the question.
Right, but you're not even identifying who you were to me.
I don't have to identify
you. Do though, because you're driving on a New York State roadway. You need to produce.
And round we go in circles. Honestly, this is starting to feel a bit like Groundhog Day, but thankfully the supervisor has arrived to put a stop to this nonsense. Yeah, let's see him work his magic.
Sir, it has nothing to do with
to travel.
Sir, you can speak with my supervisor.
I'm the supervisor.
Okay.
It's New York State law. This is a traffic stop. Identify yourself, or you're going to be arrested for obstruction and a misdemeanor.
All right. You have an oath to the Constitution, is that correct?
Yes.
There we go.
Okay.
It's time to get out of the car and identify yourself.
So if you go and do what you're doing,
Yep.
you're violating your oath to the Constitution.
Nope.
Yes.
You're detained right now. You're accused of committing a crime, a vehicle and traffic law. You have to identify yourself. It's basic when you're 16 years old and you get your license. I'm Lieutenant Swick, badge 203. You're going to identify yourself to these officers right now.
Exactly, the supervisor makes a great point. Even 16-year-olds know how this all works. That is until the odd one goes down the soft sit rabbit hole and gets owned by a veteran New York cop who then impounds his car, but that's a different video.
Why are you not identifying yourself?
I already did, actually, on the 911 call. I gave him my driver's license number and everything. But as far as that's concerned, again, you have an oath to the Constitution. Are you going to allow me to speak? I'll clarify this for you.
Yep. Are you going to identify yourself?
Are you going to allow me to clarify everything?
Yes.
So I already did on the 911 call. I actually gave you, did you happen to take notice of the driver's license number that I gave? That you could ran it?
Well, we wouldn't be able to do that because we're having a conversation while you were giving that to dispatch.
Way, right, you have an oath to the Constitution. Now, keep in mind, I don't hate anybody. Again, as I iterated to them, my uncle was First Sergeant Military Police. My cousin works as police over in my county, Genesee County, right? So I have no problems with the police.
You keep saying the words you don't have a problem with the police, yet you misuse 911, which can have serious consequences as stated by the dispatcher. To report 2 cops for pulling you over for a violation you agreed was wrong because you tried to justify it. That doesn't sound like the actions of a man-baby who likes the police now, does it?
What I'm doing right now is I'm asserting my rights. I'm making sure you're abiding by your oath to that Constitution. Why is that important today? Because what I'm saying to you right now, because as much as you're trying to come at me, keep in mind I have the full legal right to remove Joe Biden from his office right now with the same context.
Are you okay?
Are you okay?
Do you know what year it is?
Do you know what year it is?
Do you know what year it is?
Okay.
Interesting how he can't answer any of the questions, only repeat the same ones back. Also, this officer's reaction to him saying he has the full legal right to remove Joe Biden from office. Something I would love to see him try, by the way, for obvious reasons.
Let me clarify this for you, because if you want to have this kind of argument. Do you proclaim December the 12th month?
Of the year? Yes.
Even though the word itself literally means 10th month?
still
Sir,
okay to
I
take
don't
them
know
out?
if
So exactly.
I don't know if
Because you don't know
I want to
anything.
help.
No.
I don't know if this is a mental
I want to
health
help people too.
Is this a mental health issue or are you?
That
you
sounds
hate the
like
cops?
you do have one, because if you proclaim December to be the 12th month when it literally means the 10th, means you're probably
Okay.
not in your right
Identify
mind.
yourself to these police officers, please. Right now, identify yourself to these police officers.
So are you doing an insurrection against people at the moment?
You're about to be removed from this vehicle. Shut the car off. Shut the car off. Shut the car off.
Let's go, ready?
Shut the car off. Shut it off right now. Come on. Shut it off.
Get out of the car.
Step out.
On your stomach.
Roll over.
So now you just committed assault.
On your stomach right now.
Give me your hand.
Now you just committed
Relax
assault.
your hand.
Relax your arm.
Soft-sit hypocrisy never fails to amuse me. For the last 20 minutes he's been arguing that New York state law doesn't apply to him, you know, because reasons. Yet as soon as the cuffs go on he cites a New York penal law. Amazing.
I am fully
Relax your arm.
You committed assault.
No, you tried to close the window on me after I told you to get out of the vehicle. Gave you multiple chances to identify yourself.
Now I told you quite often that you're insurrectionists against
You want a
people.
double cup on him?
No. Do you have any weapons in the car?
No, now you're performing illegal search and seizure. Violation of the 4th Amendment.
And why am I not surprised that he doesn't understand how the 4th Amendment works?
Alright, sir. Alright, brother. If you want, roll to your side here. And sit on your bottom. Sit up. Ready? Up on your feet.
1, 2,
1, 2,
3.
3. Okay. Back to front. Please pat him down. Yes, sir.
I don't have any weapons.
Oh, we gotta check you anyway.
I have a right to wear them anyway under the 2nd Amendment.
Okay.
Dude, I don't think they're challenging your Second Amendment rights. It's just asking as a courtesy because you're getting arrested and your vehicle, which is full of cold DoorDash or Uber Eats orders, is going to car jail. So they need to take an inventory. Not everything is an attack on your rights.
Have a seat, sir.
Alright. Sit tight.
Right, so that's where I'm going to leave this one. The ride to jail and booking in process was mostly uneventful. There were a couple of funny moments where he started with the soft sit script in the back of the police car, but the officer just turned the music up to drown him out. I can't play that for copyright reasons, but if you would like to see that and the rest of the video, then I will provide a link to the original in the description. Right, so according to the police report, he was charged with obstruction, fingerprinted and released on an appearance ticket. The vehicle, which belonged to Hertz, was apparently a road hazard and impounded. Right, thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave me a like, share the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you also to my channel members and patrons for your continued support. I really appreciate it. Right, take care all, and I will catch up with you in the next video.